guys, Buck here, BTM Scale Modeling, and welcome back to another week on the bench. Got quite a bit done. Honestly, got to say, you know, Sunday of last week, and then I wasn't able to do anything until yesterday. So got quite a bit done in the last over 2 days of work. For most intents and purposes, this wee little ship is done. Still got some minor things I got to add, and then do the weathering and the de-stressing on the kit. But overall, you know, Bandai, I never can say anything bad about Bandai kits except maybe for the decals. But other than that, it's a great little kit, a lot of great detail. It's going to be fun weathering and de-stressing this ship now, and then moving on to working on the base. So guys, as always, thank you for watching. If you're new to my channel, click the subscribe button, and I appreciate you continued support and watching. As always, please leave a comment if you have any suggestions, tips, tricks, or if there's something I can do better, or if there's something you need me to explain more in my builds. Just leave it in the comment section below. I usually respond within 12 to 24 hours, or I usually try to. So guys, as always, if you're looking for a modeling community, please check out sci-fi-nc.com, Amazing Scale Modelers, themodelerstube.com, Sprue Society, Paint on Plastic, the Model Shop. Bunch of great communities out there, guys. A lot of great builders, great tips out there. Anybody that if you run into a problem on a kit, just reach out in those communities. We're always willing and able to help. So with that, guys, I'm going to quit rambling and let's get to the bench. Alright guys, welcome back to the bench, and as promised, I'm going to show you how to take care of these pipings on sprues. So what I've done is I've went ahead and I painted the different colors, and probably getting washed on the camera, but basically all I did is I went with a copper and a chrome silver, and I've already airbrushed them, and I've clear coated them to help protect the paint when I take them off the sprue. So I'm going to show you how to take these off relatively easily. So with the main body, because that's what we're fixing to work on, probably what you're going to want to do is get all the detail painting and all the subtle effects in, kind of like I have done. I've added a little color to some certain things, and then I have went ahead and dry brushed over the kit of this part with chrome silver, just to give it a little distinctive edge before we add the piping, because once you add this piping in, it's going to take your ability away to do any kind of detail work that you want to actually do to the main body of the kit. So how do we take very flimsy, very delicate pieces off of a sprue without destroying them? First off, disclaimer, while I'm pretty good at it, doesn't mean crap doesn't happen, guys. Straight off the bat, it doesn't matter how careful you are with these. Sometimes, excuse the language, shit happens. But again, with any kind of building, that can actually be a happy happenstance. So what you want to do is get your instructions out, and you want to start with the first area you're going to actually work in, which for us is with the major map blueprints we got here. We're going to start with this 2/6. So this is the upper part of the ship, so I want to find C16. So again, we have our sprue C, and we want to find 16, which is right here. This is the piece we want. So get middle there. So one of the biggest things you want to get is you definitely want to get a good pair of sprue snips. I got these. These are Tamiya's. Really enjoy the heck out of them. Love them to death. You want to have a good pair of sprue snips and your hobby knife. Okay, guys? Make sure you got a brand new blade, nice and sharp. So with Bandai, they do really good about how they put these on. So basically, the best way to do any delicate part is I'm not going to actually cut it from the sprue. I'm going to actually cut the sprue. And as you can see, stuff likes to bend. So that is why I take it from the actual sprue instead of trying to cut the piece. Now what this does is it gives you a lot more manageable piece. It's something you can hold in your hands and then you can do the delicate work. So all we're going to do is we're going to cut the pieces off, and it allows you to be able to actually get up close to your work and do what you need to do. And with taking it off the sprue itself, it takes that pressure off of these very delicate pieces. So there we go, we have our part out. Now yes, you still want to go ahead and sand off the flash from where you cut. So we'll get our nice, and guys, again, I suggest you have a sanding stick. So we're going to cut that, we're going to sand that down, use a very fine grit because you want to be careful. Now you might have to do some touch-up painting, but that's expected. But we can do that after we get the piece to the kit. So here's our piece. We can take our kit, we're going to lay it in the direction that it shows on the thing, and we are going to apply it. So the great thing with this is you can actually, because what I'm going to do and you kind of got to fit it under some parts because you've done some pre-work. See, again, so this piece goes back in there. We're just gonna slide it in. Now again, like I said, the great thing about T.B.I is they have made all their kit pieces so beautifully tight. And there's that first pipe. So all we're going to do, and guys, I suggest get the T.B.I thin cement and have that because it makes it so much easier to do this. So we're going to add a little bit of glue there. Apply a little pressure, get that down. Wipe the brush a little bit. Add a little glue there. Again, apply a little pressure, get that down. And there we go. We have our first piping in. And we'll get there so you can see. Focus. So this is that pipe we just did. So basically that's what it is, guys. So let's go ahead and add another piece. We're going to go ahead and add C37. Let's go ahead and find it, which is right here. Again, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my forefinger and my thumb, and I'm going to hold that part so I can cut it off the sprue without it busting. Okay? That's all I want to do. I want to be able to keep that. I want to protect this piece of piping, and by pinching it in between while it's on the sprue and I cut it off the sprue, I can protect it. Then we just go in very nonchalantly and we take off those pieces. Again, take your sanding stick, sand down the rough edges, and you can go back in once you actually got it in place and take care of the touch-up paint. That's the best part about it. Trying to paint these while they're on the kit is going to be ridiculous. So that's why I'm suggesting painting them on the sprue before then. So this actually is underneath. Oh, no, still on top. My bad. And it's going to be like this. And this piece actually goes right there. So, okay, it fits pretty well. Sorry, right there. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to take it out. I'm going to apply my glue. And we're going to add that piece in. Just like so. And then you come back, push it in really nice and tight. And there you go. Piece in. Now we also need to add C15, which again is this piece right here. So again, what you want to do is pinch it where you're going to cut. Right here, I'm going to cut this part of the sprue first. Pinch that, then come up here, pinch the middle part, and pinch the front part. And there we go. Now once it's like this, it's relatively simple just to go in and apply a little pressure to each piece where you're cutting. Make sure your snips are your sprue cutters, the flat pieces against the actual part, to get the closest cut possible. And there we go. All snipped up and taken care of. We'll go in and sand a little bit. Take off the rough edges. And you don't have to be real abrasive with it. You don't have to be real hard. Just nice and light pressure. And there we go. And then again, the same thing is we will apply them to the kit itself. Okay, looks great. We're going to apply a little bit of our T.B.I glue and press into place. And there we go, guys. So that is done. So that is how I cut delicate piping or delicate pieces off of a sprue. So guys, I'm going to keep working on this. I'm going to get the piping finished, and when we come back we should have the cockpit ready for next paint and hopefully start getting the ship pretty well completed and put together. Alright, see you guys soon. Hey guys, welcome back to the bench, and as you can tell from the other video, I started working on all the piping and the plumbing, and here we are done. I'm gonna try to bring it up, give you guys a little bit of a look at that detail. Kind of gets lost in the camera, but try to show you there a little bit. That's the one thing I got to say about Bandai. I mean, the detail is extraordinary for these kits. Again. So, but there is all the plumbing work done. Yes, I have to do some touch-up. Thank you, Mr. Camera, for showing all that. The greatest thing, the takeaway I'm going to give you guys on this, if you're doing this kit, again, is to be careful. The piping is very delicate, but you're going to have to do, if you did like I did and put the engine pods on, you're going to have to do a little modification when you run the tubing into certain parts of, into the engine mounts. You just got to snip off a little bit to get everything to fit and lay down just right. But that's about it. I mean, you know, a little bit of modification here or there, but other than that, it looks great. It's done, and I'm happy with that. So it's going to look even better when we get it weathered. So the next thing I'm working on is I'm going to get the cockpit or the cockpit section painted. I'm going to get the yellow stripe done on this side and the stripe onto the front of the engine pods. And hopefully with the rest of the weekend I am going to get the engine bells done and weathered up a little bit and get those mounted in and get going. So guys, I'm going to continue work on this, and I'll see you when we get back. Let you see how that paint turns out. Hey guys, Sunday morning. Work continues. Just a quick note here. Since the last clip, I went ahead, I got all the piping done, and then I pretty much got the painting done, added the cockpit, added the top of the gun turret, got the engines, got the engine stabilizers on, got this paint, got the engine bells painted and weathered in, so, and the landing gear's done. So basically everything is done except for the guns. Got to do some touch-up paints on some of the piping, and then do an overall weathering of the kit and do some fixes. Just FYI guys, the back pieces here, be careful, they like to snap, but I'll fix that once I'm all done. And as you can see, I'm kind of starting to do a preliminary layout of what I want to do for the diorama. Let's zoom out here. Tower, where I'm going to place this, how I'm thinking of starting to lay it out. Like I said guys, when I get ready to start doing this, I'll go through a little, quite a bit of step by step on it. Give you guys an idea, start showing you guys how I lay these out, but this is basically how it starts. And getting my idea, because I'm going to put I think I'm going to do like a concrete pad, and then go through with a couple of paths, and then ground cover, and then something I wanted to do was I wanted to try to do I haven't decided whether I'm going to try to do a kind of a bunker that this is kind of set back into. I'm still thinking on what I'm doing there, how to add a cover to this, or semi-cover to this pad. But for most intents purposes, the Y-Wing's pretty much done, except for the touch-ups and getting the weathering done. And like I said, adding the guns, and then that's it. That's the last part, is actually the last part of gluing is adding the guns. Everything else is just weathering and de-stressing and doing some minor touch-ups. So guys, that's it for this week on the bench. Next week we'll get started in on part 1 of getting the base built up, getting the diorama done. So guys, have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you next week on the bench.